The world we inhabit isn't solely based on the lives of humans. For centuries, we've manipulated the environment to meet human needs, and we're beginning to reach the breaking point. Research published in 2006 dramatically claimed that the fish which uphold the marine market would be entirely extinct by 2050. If we continue our destructive practices, this may not be far from the truth. Simply due to the ease of continuing already established habits and fishing practices, companies and governments around the world persist in the use of methods that are harmful to oceanic lifeforms. A few examples of these destructive habits are whaling and trawling.
We'll begin with whaling, specifically the Japanese whaling campaigns. Currently, Japan exploits a loophole allowing whales to be killed for scientific research and claims it is trying to prove the population is large enough to sustain a return to commercial hunting. For a year, Japan stopped whaling in response to public disapproval of several nations, but last year it sent its fleet to sea again, insisting that its newer, smaller Antarctic whaling program satisfies the International Court of Justice requirements. Whales are vital to sustaining healthy marine life. They are at the top of the food chain and have no predators besides humans. Hunting an ecosystem's apex predator to endangerment or extinction has great consequences and will affect all creatures below it. On top of this, whaling has a negative effect on the climate and the carbon cycle. When whales and other large animals flourish in the ocean, they absorb hundreds of pounds of carbon throughout their lives, carrying a substantial amount to the seafloor upon dying. According to a study conducted by the Gulf of Maine Research Institute, the current populations of baleen whales compared to pre-exploitation levels store about 9.1 million fewer tons of carbon. Also, about 160,000 tons of carbon per year could be removed from the atmosphere if humans allowed whale populations to restore to the same prevalence as the pre-industrial levels. Another destructive practice executed by humans is trawling. Trawling is a fishing practice that uses weighted nets to drag the ocean floor. This non-selective and non-specific type of fishing not only brings in a remarkably large haul, but produces a clear majority of bycatch. All bycatch for a fishing trip is thrown back into the ocean regardless of its species type or condition of health. While it is widely inefficient in targeting one species, the size and speed of each haul is considered the most effective form of mass fishing and is therefore used globally. Further still, multiple studies have found that all types of trawling reduce species diversity. The waste of the bycatch distributes large quantities of dying animals in a path behind fishing vessels, which not only pollutes the surface level but also disrupts the natural paths of predation and organism behavior around ships. Most trawling uses fully weighted nets and long extension lines so that the weights drag against the ocean floor. The weights crush and drag corals, anemones, and other bottom growth. Trawling greatly increases the amount of disturbed bottom sediments, reloading the water column with vast amounts of suspended solids that changes the ocean chemistry. This deep water sediment disturbance below the thermocline usually has no impact on the surface, but other types of trawling can still create paths of debris visible from satellites.
Unfortunately, all of these practices are negatively impacting ocean life, and whether we realize it or not, this will affect humans in the long run. Continuing these habits will impact the overall health of our oceans, from biodiversity to carbon cycling. The future generations of land and sea will have to face the brutal consequences of our actions.